Hey, Hakazu here. So I'm back with kind of a new challenge, and after my last challenge of all rolls to 3k, make sure you check it out by the way if you missed it, I kind of got into this whole challenge thing, and this is my Warlock. Have a look here. It's level 79, almost level 80, and the challenge is to get 3k as fast as possible, with no gear except some warbound stuff I have. You can see I have Dragonflight gear, no resources, no crests, to 3k. I'm just about to turn in this quest, and once I do, I'll hit level 80 and then the timer will start. Let me just show you my playtime. So you can see right now, there it is. This is my most played character at 229 days, but as soon as I hit level 80, hopefully this gives me enough experience, boom, I just hit level 80, so you can see time played at this level, 0.06 seconds. Okay, so you'll see by the end of this challenge how long it takes me. So the plan is to immediately queue for LFR, but to do that, I'm going to equip these pieces and see what my item level is, because obviously I need 600 item level or something like that to queue for LFR. Hopefully this gives me a good head start, and whatever slots I'm missing, I'll buy off of the auction house. Alright, let me see. Can't queue LFR right now, so I need 606 item level. Okay. So first I gotta buy some gear from the auction house to hit the LFR requirement. Okay, so 609 item level now, let's queue for LFR. Okay, so on the first boss here, I learned the hard way that standing in the middle and hitting both bosses with Havoc is not the best idea at 609 item level. My hope was to get a couple of items and maybe some tier, but maybe on the next boss? Guess not. Between LFR wings, I actually realized that I still had a headpiece from Dragonflight, so got a new one from the auction house. Actually also had a chest from Dragonflight, which I didn't even realize, but I guess I'll replace that later. And then it was back to LFR. No tier or IF Kazan from Galliwix, unfortunately. No House of Cards from One Armed Bandit. No Mugs Moxie Jug from Mugsy. But having killed 4 bosses without getting any loot, I could now buy an item with cartel chips, and given the fact that I'm trying to race to 3k, I didn't need to make long-term considerations and just got the Moxie Jug. Then I went back to the Arathi event to see if I could easily get a couple more pieces of gear. And I actually ended up getting a really nice ring with perfect stats. Although a bit low item level, but the stats matter a lot more than item level for jewelry anyway. My next move was to craft a 645 weapon. It was the only piece I wanted to craft at lower than 675 item level to save on recrafting gold. Okay, embellished weapon done. This is the point where I realized I still had a Dragonflight chest, so I went to get one off the auction house. With my new embellished weapon and chest, I felt like I was ready to jump into some M+, but first I needed to get a key, so I formed an M0 group. And I decided to go for a Priory just for a chance to get the Signet, which is a great destruction trinket. And by the way, my choice of playing destruction is pretty much a random one. I've played all Warlock specs in the past. Warlock has been my most consistent main. I could play any of them, but even though destruction is one that historically has appealed the least to me, right now with the changes, the other ones just appeal even less. And with the addition of Soulfire, destruction just feels a lot better, so that's the spec I chose to play. Even though I must say I'm very disturbed by the fact that your highest damage is a freaking dot with the hero talents. Come on, Blizzard, you can do better than that. But I guess Blizzard heard my disappointment and decided to gift me with the Signet Trinket, which is extremely lucky on my first run. Anyway, we easily completed the dungeon and I got my first key. And funnily enough, the first pull in the first key I got on my Warlock was one of the pulls that I was most excited to do. It's this box jump pull in Floodgate. As I would later find out, I was actually quite lucky to get onto these boxes in my first try. So my general plan here was to get into 6s as soon as possible and start farming the Runed Crests and Hero Truck items. So the third boss tried really hard to derail my challenge, but we had a Demon Hunter tank who said nope. And in the end we timed that Floodgate too, but it was only a +1, which puts me a bit further from getting to those 6s as soon as possible. Then I remembered about something really important, which is Circe's ring from the Siren Isle. So I went to quickly get that and do all the quests to fully upgrade it, while in queue for LFR. And then it was back into LFR to finish up the bosses I haven't done. At this point I was really hoping for a tier piece or two to get the set bonus faster and reduce the number of catalyst charges I'd have to spend on non-hero track gear. Basically after farming a bunch of 6s, my idea was to go into 7s, get the mid-track weapon crafted, and then get into 10s as soon as possible. And I wanted to have 4Ps by the time I got into 10s, but I knew that it was unlikely that I'd have all of my tier piece items slots being hero track, which meant that I would need to use catalyst charges to convert lower tier items into tier, which I did not want to do. That's why LFR tier pieces would be very, very valuable to me to cover this gap until I get hero track pieces converted through the catalyst. And I actually got a leg tier token, feeling great. Unfortunately, the rest of LFR provided absolutely no gear for me, but at least I got that leg set piece. And then it was back to Siren Island to finish my ring upgrades. Once I was done getting all the upgrades, I simply logged onto my main and bought the gems that I needed and sent them over to my Warlock. And then it was straight back into M+, no time to waste. Surprisingly, we +3'd this Rookery 3, which got me my 6th key. I also got this nice Rookery trinket, which was recently buffed, so it's actually pretty strong. Unfortunately, I had already bought Mug's Moxie Jug, but it was champion track anyway, so it's okay. Now that I have a 6th key, it is time to spam the F out of them. So my goal was not to get Giga carried, but more like do keys I felt were at least somewhat appropriate to my gear and experience level. Now, pugging 6s at 635 item level might be seen as pushing it a bit, but if I was truly pushing it, I'd be pugging 10s at this level. Anyway, easy first 6, time to do like 100 more of these. I had a series of unfortunate events where I failed the next 6, mistimed the next 5, +1 the next 4, and +1 the next 5, and then I was back in a 6 workshop. I messed up the footage for these, but I promise they weren't that interesting anyway. In this workshop I got some hero track boots with really nice stats, and I decided to send some upgrades on those. Then I also remembered that these rep vendors had some crests and valor stones for me, so I went to pick those up. And that actually allowed me to send a few more upgrades. And then it was right back into those 6s. I got some hero track shoulders in this Dark Flame Cleft, so it was straight to the catalyst with those. I also instantly upgraded them, and this allowed me to equip my LFR legs to get the 2-piece, which I also upgraded almost free of crests because my other legs were 642. After completing yet another 6, I thought I may as well do 7s. It's only one level higher and I can start working on the crests for my weapon upgrade craft. So getting 90 gilded crests for that 681 weapon was my next goal. The people who joined my key seemed pretty insane as we +3'd this brewery, however, I wasn't too happy about getting outdamaged by a tank. And then fast forward a bunch of 7s and I finally had my mythic weapon. I was huge now. I felt like I was ready to spam 10s for more crests and higher base item level hero track items. So I started off by +2ing my 8 and getting a small bracers upgrade. And then it was time for my first 10, which my other friend joined, and having his mage in my keys is as close as you can get to getting boosted. But hey, if anyone's wondering if DPS players can boost a key, here's your answer. So it was back into the 8 on my own in hopes of getting another 10 key. Unfortunately, even the 8 wasn't going to go my way. So my hopes and dreams of doing 10s shattered, shamed and ridiculed, it was back to 7s for me. At least we timed the 7, jeez. There's something about Priory that makes it a dungeon that is never guaranteed. Changed my mind. At this point I felt like I needed a bit more power and I had a bunch of catalyst charges, so I decided to turn my chest and head into tier to get 4-piece so I could get a bit more power for those 10s I so wanted to do. But first I needed to get a 10 key, so into the 8 I go. And despite being not too happy with my damage, I was very thankful that we managed to +2 it, and I had a 10 once again. Unfortunately, it was a Priory again. Please wish me luck. Actually, in this dungeon, I was starting to feel like I'm doing damage with my new weapon, which was really nice. But unfortunately not enough for this 10 apparently. I bet you didn't wish me luck when I asked, did you? Then I sent some upgrades. My strategy with this was to do upgrades on lower item level items only when I'm close to capping Valor Stones. Otherwise I wanted to save them for hero track upgrades. I also had already created 5 sparks for my future crafted items, costing me a total of 1250 Valor Stones. Anyway, it was back into the Priory 8, sigh. The downside of doing your own keys because you don't have the item level to get invited is that you get screwed like this if you fail. Thankfully, we +2'd that Priory 8. I can't believe I'm feeling relieved about timing an 8, but that's what you get with Priory, I guess. But the real relief I'd feel was if I timed this 10. And these setbacks were actually more than just about frustration. If I fail a lot of keys and have to go again at a lower level, that would greatly increase the time it would take me to farm out my gear and crests, and so greatly increase the time I'd need to get to my goal. Thankfully, this Theater 10 was looking good around the second boss. That DH was absolutely blasting and I was doing alright, but not amazing on the overall. And we actually timed it with only 20 seconds to spare, but that's a huge relief anyway. I didn't feel like my DPS was contributing significantly to timing that 10, but then again, top is a terrible dungeon for Destro. This 10 actually gave me the last crests I needed for my second crafted and embellished item, so hopefully that would be another nice spike in damage. Anyway, straight back into 10s I go. At this point I'm doing decent damage, but I'm still overshadowed by classes that don't get screwed by tank movement. But again, not decent enough apparently. This was now becoming a serious concern. If I'm gonna fail 1 in every 2 10s and then having to 2-chest an 8 just to get back to a 10, this challenge is gonna take way too long. But you know what's worse than not timing 10s and having to go back to an 8? Well, not timing the 8 and going back to a 7. Yeah, if you thought this was gonna be a walk in the park because it's turbo boost, think again. Frickin' sigh. Oh well, I guess at least we timed the 7. Haha. And back into shitty Theater of Pain to try and get a 10 back. Which thankfully we managed to do. We actually nearly +3'd that dungeon. And once again I was beaten by a tank. Okay, 10 Cinder Brew, this is the best Destro dungeon, let's frickin' go. Hell yeah, we +2'd it and I actually topped damage. Is this the turning point for my 10s? Next 10, go 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 go. Okay, boss 1, so far so good. Trash packs straight from hell, all good. Second boss, I forgot about Banish, but still all good. A few deaths on this trash from hell number 2, but we're still good, we're still good. Third boss all good, come on baby. Okay, we have 12 deaths, but could we be timing a second 10 in a row? Well, we did rack up 3 more deaths on the last boss, but still +2'd it with 15 deaths, what the hell? But to be honest, this was all thanks to the other 2 DPS players. A bit of a carry, but I was psyched to time my second 10 in a row anyway. But now the question is, can I do a third? Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. Looking good so far. Okay, never mind, just a small blip, but it's all good, we have plenty of time. Ha, see, I told you, that little derp was gonna be our only source of deaths in the whole run, and we +2'd it. Finally, 10s are starting to feel reliably doable, which is a very important step on the way to my goal. The icing on the cake was that dungeon actually gave me the crests for my third crafted item. Okay, no stopping, only 10s, let's go. That's another 10 down, my 4th in a row. That 10 gave me a nice pair of Hero Track legs, which I catalyzed and upgraded. Okay, next 10, let's go. I finally feel like I'm getting into the drift here. Easy, next. Well, I had a 12 for my previous +2 to 10, and even more importantly, I had my personal booster mage with me, so why not try a 12? Think about it, if I could spam 12s instead of 10s, that would pretty significantly speed up my grind. I was doing decent damage outside of bosses, so still feeling a bit boosted, but not horribly so. Somehow we got this insane like 3.6k VDH that showed us some new tech. And we ended up nearly +3ing this Dark Flame, so that was a bit of a boost, but easy 12s are a signature of Turbo Boost, as all the high rank players are spamming them for crests. That 12 gave me the crest I needed for my 4th crafted item. Okay, so time for my second 12, this time without my booster mage friend, but come on, I was 661 item level, this is gonna be easy. See, told you, we actually did it without me feeling super boosted. Was getting to 12s the breaking point for getting easily timed keys? I sent a couple of upgrades and the state of my gear made me realize that I was better off getting a few more upgrades with runed crests to make the 12s smoother. So I jumped back into 6s to farm those runed crests. My RIO here was to upgrade my Priory trinket, and I was doing Priory specifically for a chance to get a hero track signet while also farming rune crests. Then I got a bit bored of Priory, so I went to Theater of Pain to try and get this really nice crit haste ring. So yeah, for now, that was the name of the game, spamming 6s and upgrading my items for smoother 12s. So after that last Priory 6, I actually had all of my items upgraded. Unfortunately no hero track signet or Theater of Pain ring though. But back into the 12s we go with my huge mage friend again. And that's the 4th 12 done. I guess I may as well try the 13. If I can time this, it would be huge. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Our tank just gave up on us. Oh well, the good news is that I needed the 12 anyway. Okay, that was close, but I timed it. And I got my ring. Woo! I also got the crest for my next crafted item, which were bracers. I wasn't gonna give up on trying 13s though. Getting lucky in these could seriously shortcut my path to 3k. But unfortunately, while Turbo Boost makes 12s a lot easier, it actually seems to have made 13s harder, as people are doing either 12s for crests or higher keys for rating, and the pool of players doing 13s right now doesn't seem too strong. I mean, take me for example. But yet again, I still needed the 12, so back in we go. Floor POV at the end, but thankfully we managed to time it. Next 13, let's go. I really hope we time this one because I don't need the Workshop 12. Unfortunately, we racked up 5 deaths pretty early, but it wasn't over yet. At least not until we wiped to the skip, now it was over. Oh well, we finished it anyway for the crests, and very importantly, for a different key for me. Also, now that I've crafted all the items I wanted to, I can send some upgrades on key items like my trinket. My mage friend was back and he had a Priory 12, so that was going to be our next stop. And given all my prior experience with the dungeon, I actually had strong suspicions this might be over on the first pull. But I was pleasantly surprised, at least so far. Second mini-boss, still all good, and I'm actually doing relevant damage, though it's all pad, but hey, all the mobs need to die, okay? The Arcane Mage can have the dirty job of killing prior targets, but that's not me. And yes, Arcane Mages are dirty, filthy. First boss down. Could this be the run that gets me a 12 Priory? Wait. What if I also get the Signet? Okay, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We still have this dangerous trash and the second boss to get through. Shit. Okay, so we're still kind of on track. Just whatever happens, don't tilt. Do not tilt. Okay, looking good. Wait a minute. Actually, in addition to not tilting, also don't jinx it. So far, so good. Oh my god! Okay, well that was so easy. I didn't doubt us for a second. Okay, but on a serious note, timing a Priory 12 is a huge relief, given how many Priories I already failed on this character. Surely after timing that Priory 12, a 13 Motherload isn't going to be a problem, and the tank, rogue and mage actually stayed from the Priory, so I was feeling pretty good about this. No freaking way. We got through this trash with no deaths? Is this going to be my first 13? Okay, 1 death, but that's no problem at all. Fuck. It's okay, stay positive, it's not over. Okay, we're good, just have to stay concentrated. Oh wait, we're pulling a war machine into this? I really hope the tank is on point with his defensive usage. All good, a bit tight, but still on track. Pulling the last boss with just under 4 minutes, looking okay unless people die. Shit. Fuck! Going into intermission with 1 minute 20 left, there's just no way. Sigh. Thanks, if you're watching this, please just keep the boss on the safe spot. I mean, you can still get caught out, but a lot less than this running around shit. Well, very sad, but at least I wouldn't have to go back into this dungeon. Oh, for fuck's sake, I got a workshop. Well, may as well do it, I guess. Hopefully I don't end up with an 11 workshop after this. It's okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Surely more upgrades are gonna help me out. Well, at least I don't have to go into the workshop again, I guess. At this point I actually only had a rookery on 4, so I signed up for a 10 to get a good bunch of rating, which would actually also help me get better signups for my keys, cause I'd have a bunch more score. Plus 123, nice. You know I'm desperate when I'm sending one upgrade at a time on a headpiece. Alright, it's time to get a 12 key back. We're still okay to +2, right? Please tell me we are. Okay, pulling the third boss at 1930, this is gonna be seriously close. Okay, 2 minutes 50 to kill the last boss? Well, at least we have lost. Oh man, that was easy. What was I even worried about? Sending every upgrade I can again. Replacing my champ tier chest with a hero track one, priming for some future upgrades. Okay, 2880 rating. Gotta get back into 13s, but I have a 12 key, so let's quickly upgrade it. Not the smoothest run in the world, but I'm happy to time it and get a 13. Ah, shit, a priory. Nothing says untimable like a priory 13 in a pug. But it's okay, 2 more upgrades on my chest are definitely gonna save that priory. Okay, let's go, priory 13, easy. Okay, only 1 death on the first pull, nice. I feel like not pulling Suleiman on the first pull is always a good choice in pugs. You're not gonna fail the timer unless you do dangerous things that result in deaths. Okay, going well so far, I like it. Oh, for fuck's sake, I was only rain of firing, but the infernal spawn killed me? Okay, first boss down, not tragic yet, despite having 5 deaths. Ah, there it is. Well, saving my mental was my friend coming online and offering me her 14 rookery key, which should be totally doable. She also has resilience at 13, so worst case scenario, we do that. Okay, well, not the best start. Okay, yeah, this looks over AF considering the last boss's time requirement. But it's okay, I need the 13 priory anyway, that would be a lot of points from my 10. Surely a 13 rookery is free, right? Especially during turbo boost. I see. Thank goodness for resilience, and thank goodness there's no way we can fail 3 rookeries in a row. Okay, scratch that. Surely we can't fail 5 rookeries in a row. See, I told you we can't fail 5 rookeries in a row. And by the way, not even close, baby. 21 seconds to go, but that's 51 points. So close to 3k. I just gotta send this chest upgrade and I get 3k for free, right? Okay, last 12 I haven't done. Cinderbrew, the best destruction of Warlock dungeon. I'm excited. Of course we had deaths in this cursed tunnel, but that's just part of Cinderbrew. You just accept it, you just take it, it's just normal, okay? It's normal. See, it's fine because we recovered and killed the 3rd boss with enough time left to time the key. 2970, baby. 2 more 13s, or turning one of my 12s into a 14, could do the trick. Just another couple of upgrades and I'm ready to go. So timing that Cinder Brew 12 gave me a 13 floodgate key, and I got the whole group together, both my hunter friend and my mage friend, and we were in there. There was no way we were gonna fail. Right up until the first boss, everything was going great. But then my disk space finished and the recording ended. Spoiler, we wiped at the end of that first boss in Floodgate, which made the key untimeable, so we just quit it. So the problem was that I didn't actually realize that I ran out of disk space and I wasn't recording anymore, so I didn't record the last 3 hours of this challenge. But thankfully my friend was recording it, so you can get a glimpse of our Theater 14 from his POV. He actually also has a YouTube channel called Bite Size Wow. Do go check him out, it's really cool. Anyway, with the whole trio together again, the run was going decently well. The only thing is that this is a Theater of Pain and my damage was seriously lacking. And to be honest, as Destro, I don't think you should be really weak in this dungeon, but I guess I was just misplaying. This put me on a bit of a tilt curve, as I really felt like I was getting super boosted. I did okay damage on the second boss, but this was not enough to rectify my tilt situation. And this finally materialized in my death on the third boss. And to make matters worse, I chose a bad time to take a res and ended up dying again like 1 second after getting the res. The only redeeming fact was that I tried my best to fight the tilt. After all, my performance here would be a strong contributor to whether I retimed the key, and timing it would very likely mean 3k for me. And through sheer power of will, I managed to gain enough composure to not die after the third boss and actually also do some damage on the fourth boss. And then it was on to the last boss, with the timer looking not exactly super comfortable. I made it through a good portion of the fight, but unfortunately the tilt manifested in a lack of concentration and I got squeezed between a charge and the frontal and died with no combat res available. Thankfully my mage friend absolutely boosted and my hunter friend did some solid gaming as well, and I ended up getting hard carried by them, to be honest. But screw that, I'm finally 3k. Wait a minute, 2,999? This is my punishment for playing absolutely shit, huh? Okay, well I can't even say that I don't deserve it, to be honest. Well, I only needed 1 point, so instead of struggling in 13s, I went for a Workshop 12 instead, hoping to improve my time by enough to give me at least 1 point. And I timed that Workshop 12 and actually got 6 whole points. Unfortunately, again, I don't have the footage of that dungeon, as I only realized my recording stopped after I completed the challenge. So basically I missed the last 3 hours of gaming, sorry about that, but in the end I got to 3005 rating at 670 item level, 45 hours played over 5 days, just after hitting level 80. If you enjoyed this challenge video, check out my other video where I challenged myself to hit 3k RIO in all roles. Please like and subscribe if you find my videos entertaining, and I will see you in the next one.